Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is getting extremely close to its next major move, while the price is actually moving towards a massive amount of liquidations. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now forming a new pattern, getting very close to a major breakout, while Solana is already attempting a breakout in the short term. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in this video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart, and like I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, right now the price of Bitcoin is potentially repeating history because we're seeing extremely similar price structure to what we saw in the last bull cycle back in 2020 going into 2021. And in case you're new to this channel, if you want to know more about this chart right here and what we could be expecting moving forward, then check out my last few videos here on the channel, because in recent videos I've explained in more detail about this chart right here. But overall, on the larger time frames like this 3-day chart as well, we're still looking very bullish in terms of the trend. We're still in a larger bullish trend, also known as a bull market. But obviously, even during a bullish trend, we can see short-term pullbacks from time to time. So just be aware, if we're seeing a 10% pullback or 20% pullback, that's actually very normal price action to see, even during a bullish trend. And as I've also been saying here on the channel, when we're seeing these 10-20% pullbacks, those are actually short-term buying opportunities if you expect the bull market to continue, as we've been seeing time and time again. And so once again, overall on the larger time frames, we're still looking very bullish, but of course in the short term, we can see short-term bullish and bearish price action here and there. And if we're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, obviously over the last few days, we've basically consolidated sideways in choppy sideways price action. And right now we still have this area of support sitting in between around 68,000 to 69,000, and some horizontal resistance right here at around 71,500. And now if we see a breakout above 71,500, then in that case, the next short-term resistance is sitting in between around 73,000 to 74,000 based on this previous high, which is basically the all-time high. And so once again, as I've been saying here on the channel, we have lost a lot of that short-term bullish momentum over the last few days with this sideways price action as a result of this bearish divergence playing out over the last few days as expected. But now that this has already played out over the last few days as expected, what we're now finally seeing is a breakout in the 3-hour Bitcoin RSI above this descending line of resistance, which is an invalidation signal of the bearish divergence. And so once again, we already saw this bearish divergence play out very nicely here in the short term over the last few days, but this bearish divergence is now technically invalidated, at least based on this one signal right here. So I would not necessarily expect this pattern to continue to play out any longer. And instead, we're forming this new pattern here on the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, which is of course an ascending triangle pattern, which is usually a bullish pattern. This type of pattern actually breaks out to the upside more often than not. But obviously sometimes, even though it's a less likely scenario, but sometimes they can break to the downside. So ultimately, we just need to wait to actually confirm a break, either well below this support or well above this resistance, with candle closes ideally below support or above resistance. And if you want more confirmation of a break of one of those levels, we ideally also need to see a retest. That is not necessary, but that's just extra confirmation to look out for in case we end up seeing it happening. Because, for example, if we see a break of one of those levels and then break back inside the pattern, then that was not a successful breakout because we did not successfully complete that retest. We actually broke back inside the pattern. And so once again, at least for now, while the price is in between this resistance and this support, which by the way, this ascending line of support is currently sitting at just above $70,000. And so while the price is still in this price range right here, once again, in the short term, we're looking relatively neutral, but the moment we confirm a strong breakout above resistance or below this support, that will set up the next short-term price target, which, for example, if we're setting up a bullish price target, if we confirm a breakout above resistance, that will set up a price target at around 75.4K. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's potentially around a 5 to 6% move to the upside. Or for example, if we see a confirmed break below that level of support and basically a rejection from this resistance, then in that case, that would set up a bearish price target at around 66,500. And so either way, this could potentially be a trading opportunity. Whether we break to the downside or to the upside, we can use long positions or short positions to make money in either scenario. And in case you're wondering about my Bitcoin trading strategy right now, as of right now, I've not yet opened a trade for this specific breakout trade right here, but I do have a previous trade open from a lower price back down here at this breakout. And so once again, as I've been saying here on the channel every day, basically since all the way back down there, I am currently longing the price of Bitcoin. I'm already in a long position, as I've been saying once again, since back down there. And I also currently have my stop loss sitting in profits, which means in the worst case scenario, if we just crash back to the downside, that will trigger my stop loss and exit me out of the trade automatically in some decent profits. And so either way, if we crash back to the downside, that will close the trade in profits, or if we continue pumping to the upside, that will just bring in even more profits with this short-term trading strategy. And in case you're wondering, I took that trade right there over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link to Bybit to make an account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And also, if you use the link down below to Bitflex, it'll take you to this page right here where you can enter an exclusive Apple Watch Series 9 giveaway just by trading crypto on Bitflex. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well get set up ready to go on one of those exchanges using those links down below this video if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see a lot of liquidations, a lot of liquidity sitting in between around 71.9K to around 72.2K. And this is something that I've been talking about recently on the channel. I've been saying that sometime very soon, we're going to see the price of Bitcoin head up towards around 72,000 to take out that liquidity. And now, honestly, as I said in my last video, I was actually expecting this to happen perhaps on the Monday or the Tuesday sometime in the early week. And so this is actually happening a little bit earlier than I previously thought. I was actually thinking that this bearish divergence was going to play out perhaps over the next half a day or so to basically just complete the weekend of this bearish divergence playing out. But once again, we're starting to see that slight bullish move a little bit sooner than I thought. But either way, it's pretty much happening as expected. Once again, it's just happening slightly sooner than anticipated. And in case you're wondering, there are billions of dollars of short positions that will get liquidated once the price crosses above around 72,000. Once again, billions of dollars of short positions will get liquidated. And with that being said, getting into the Ethereum chart on the weekly time frame, right now we're actually bouncing from that critical area of support in between around 3.4K to 3.5K. And as for resistance, we still have that resistance at around 4.1K and obviously more resistance at around the all-time high, which is sitting at about 4.9K. And obviously, just like Bitcoin on the larger timeframes, we're still looking extremely bullish here in terms of the larger trend at play. So right now, we're still currently in a bull market. It's just obviously in the short term, we can see short-term pullbacks here and there, even during a bull market. And if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, right now the price has actually bounced exactly from this area of support that I've been talking about recently on the channel. Once again, this area of support is still sitting in between around 34.70 to around 35.30. And so, like I've been saying recently on the channel, I would not really be flipping overly bearish in the short term until we see a confirmed break below around 34.70. If we break below 34.70, then in that case, I would start flipping more bearish again just in the short term here, potentially expecting a move down towards 3.3K, as I said recently on the channel. But obviously, we did not end up seeing a confirmed break below 34.70. So like I said recently on the channel, if we hold above that area of support, then obviously we're not flipping overly bearish again. But with that being said, we're currently running into this level of resistance once again, as we've seen time and time again. And as of right now, this resistance is sitting at around 36.50. And this is actually important resistance to break out above, because if we see a confirmed breakout above 36.50, then that could potentially activate a cup and handle pattern, which is forming right now. And in that scenario, if we confirm a strong breakout above 36.50 with candle closes above that level and ideally flipping that level into new support, then that will set up a bullish price target at around 4.2K. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's potentially around a 15% move to the upside, or just for example, with a 10x leverage long position, that would be a 150% profit. But once again, because we have not yet confirmed the breakout for this cup and handle pattern, this price target to the upside in this pattern is not yet active. They are not yet in play. And also, we have to keep in mind, even if we do confirm a breakout above 36.50, we also have other resistance to pay attention to. First of all, in between 37.50 to 3.8k, and more resistance in between 4,000 to 4.1k. And so once again, even if we break out above 36.50, we could still struggle around those other areas on the chart. But in the meantime, while the price is in between this resistance and this support, as I've been saying recently on the channel, we're still looking relatively neutral here in the short term. But believe it or not, you can make a lot of easy profits in choppy sideways price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, giving you a quick final update on this pattern right here, which was an ascending triangle pattern forming for the price of ETH on the 4-hour time frame. And obviously over the last couple of days, we saw an initial break of this level of support, and then we saw a retest and actually a rejection from that level. But since then, we have actually broken out back above that line right there, which was previous support and was temporary resistance, and once again is right now acting as new support again. And so just keep that in mind, this now invalidates that break to the downside, and so as of right now, we do not currently have any active break to the downside or any active price target. But once again, as I've been saying anyway, despite seeing this break to the downside, we still needed to break below around 34.70 in order to flip more bearish again, which obviously did not happen. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the 2-hour time frame, right now Solana's attempting a breakout to the upside, and we're currently seeing a possible retest of this level of resistance, which is sitting at around $198 to $199. And now if we actually see a break back below around 198, then obviously that invalidates this small fake out to the upside. But if Solana can now hold above that level, hold above around 198 to 199, then in that case, if we find support around that area, we have a technical price target to the upside, which is sitting at around $217. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's potentially around a 9 to 10% move to the upside. Once again, if we actually further activate this pattern by seeing ideally a retest and actually holding above this level. Because once again, I want to make it extra clear that if we see a confirmed break with candle closes back below around 198, then that essentially invalidates this price target, at least for the meantime. But either way, if you want to trade these moves in the price of crypto, check out those links down below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.